Hi guys and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you've seen and if you want to see more. Coming up in today's episode, St George-Illawarra announce pre-season surprise, former Super League and NRL referee seeking legal solution, and my report on the last night's Super League match against Warrington Wolves and Castleford Tigers. In Rugby League, we are known to be respectful, well, the most respectful, not always though, to our match officials. As we know, without a referee, there is no game. And I hashtag all my videos on social media with respect the referee. And brought to you stories about referees in the past being assaulted by players. Now, a former NRL and Super League referee is calling out his former employers in Australia for victimisation. That is the story of Tim Aluani-Roby, and the former official has accused the NRL's referees chief Bernard Sutton of telling him his accent was a problem on the field and that he was subsequently ordered to do an off-field fitness test in order to embarrass him into retiring. Aluani-Roby, who is still only 32 and started refereeing in the Super League in 2011 when he was 21, he also refereed at the Rugby League World Cup in 2013 and has since gone on to referee in countries such as Lebanon, France, Ireland and Serbia. His time came in Down Under when he was sponsored to become a referee back in 2015 by the NRL, spending 5 years officiating in the Super League, but his full-time contract was left to run out by the government body in Australia at the end of 2020. He has submitted evidence to a tribunal back in November 2021, according to the Sydney Morning Herald, which revealed the NRL refs chief Sutton employed a demanding and no-compromising management style, and that Aluani-Roby was victimised because he was part of a referees union. That being said, the Fair Work Commission early in November dismissed the claims from the former official, but the Fair Work judgment said it held the evidence of Aluani-Roby and a number of supporting witnesses' statements in a higher regard than that of the NRL and Sutton on disputed issues. The NRL has categorically rejected such claims made, but Aluani-Roby's legal counsel argued Sutton had told other senior members of the referees department that Aluani-Roby was being soft again and that he shouldn't get away with it. Sutton brought in the referee as well as those not involved in finals games to take part in a running test, but with an eye to catching the ex-Super League referee out. In fact, in one conversation, it is alleged that it's highlighted that the real reason for the yo-yo test is to make Tim Aluani-Roby aware of his levels of fitness within the group. I want to make him feel comfortable to the extent he will retire on his own. It's alleged that the referee's chief Sutton had said. Aluani-Roby started stress leave towards the end of his time in the NRL, arguing he was leaving under duress rather than resigning. He has appealed to the Fair Work decision and is now currently awaiting the results. And telling Serious About Rugby League, where the information came from, that he will comment once the trial has been completed. Let's support our refs, no matter what level, no matter who by, and have the governing bodies protect these people to be our referees. We need them. We really do. If you have a look on Twitter, there's always loads of referees courses available for people, and they're free. If there was referees in place, there wouldn't be as many courses. and they wouldn't be cheap either. So we begin with St George-Illawarra, as they've taken the surprising step to extend their head coach Anthony Griffin's contract until the end of 2023, even before a ball has been hit up in anger against any opposing side. The NRL club took up the option in Griffin's contract earlier this week, and he enters his second season as the Dragons coach during this 2022 season. This season will be the 10th that Griffin has managed as a head coach in the NRL, following stints with the Brisbane Broncos between 2011 and 2014, and Penrith Panthers between 2016 and 2018. Griffin said, "I'm very appreciative to extend my time as the head coach of the Dragons. We're heading in the right direction, and myself and all the great people at the club are determined to play our roles in bringing success to the Dragons in the future. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time so far, and I'm excited by what's to come this season and beyond. The challenge of the new year starts this weekend in our first trial match against Parramatta, and my immediate focus will remain on a strong preparation for the upcoming season." Last season saw St George-Illawarra play 24 games, only winning 8 of those 24, which kind of ends up putting them in the place where they finished 11th place in the NRL season, 4 points off a playoff position. Before coaching the Dragons last year, he was at Penrith Panthers for 2 years, but was set to have 4 years in total, having signed the contract in 2018 to manage the Penrith Panthers until 2020. After 2 consecutive finals appearances in 2017 and 2018, Penrith Panthers decided to go the other way. On the decision to extend Griffin's contract, Dragons Chief Executive Ryan Webb said, "The club has undertaken a lot of changes in the last 18 months, and Anthony has played a positive role both on and off the field. The board and I feel Anthony is the right man to continue setting the required standards to returning the Dragons to back to where they will belong." Seeing that it's been over a decade since the Dragons were a premiership winning team, Griffin has got a big job on his hands, and Webb expecting that from a coach who's got a win percentage at best of 58%, and that was with the Penrith Panthers. It's going to be, I think, a stepping stone for another coach to build on after him. As I said, 55 years old. I know Wayne Bennett's there at 72 at the moment, but in terms of quality, I'd see Bennett miles ahead still of Griffin, who hasn't won a pennant since his Queensland Cup days, Toyota Cup days. We'll have to see how St George go again next year, but I've got a feeling it'll be same old, same old. So it's Friday, and what do we normally do on a Friday when the season's playing? We have a review of Thursday night's game, and this is a game. Warrington Wolves versus Castleford Tigers, with a lot of players from both sides last year crossing the divide so early in the season. One such person involved, Darryl Powell, goes back to his old club 2 weeks basically into the new season, which is, well, they were going to play him at some point this season, so get him out of the way as soon as possible. But first, at home. Anyway, let's go on to tonight's sides. So first out, the visitors. It looks like they're changing in the front row first of all, as George Lawless starts for the first time in Castleford colours at prop, with Gaz O'Brien coming in the halves as a replacement for Danny Richardson, who, according to Jenna Brooks, said is confirmed to have a fracture in his neck, according to Lee Bradford, so he's going to be out for quite some time. Even Ratchford didn't specify how long he'd be in the sideline, but otherwise, it's as you were from when they played Salford. And now for the home side. After their 20 points to 22 victory at Leeds Rhinos, Connor Wrench and Mike Cooper drop out of the squad altogether, but in comes Ellis Longstaff and Robbie Mulhern to Joe Philbin into the starting lineup, as well as Toby King returning for the home game. On the bench, Matt Davis has dropped down from loose forward, being replaced on the pitch by Jason Clark, who was on the bench against Leeds. Jack Hughes finds his way down to the bench after not playing against Leeds Rhinos, and it looks like Josh Foulis is added to the bench as well. And Joe Bullock keeps his place on the bench also. According to Castleford head coach Lee Radford, Danny Richardson's second half injury against Salford is the reason for the broken neck, fracture in the neck. He says specifically it was poor tackling technique. He went into a tackle, got it all wrong, and came off worse. It happens in rugby league. No one's at fault. No one's at fault. We're playing a hard sport. It just happens sometimes. So the game starts with Castleford deep in the Warrington half, putting on some absolute tremendous pressure. But as they work the ball wide on the last tackle, doing a power play move, the ball is intercepted by Matty Ashton out 20 to 30 metres out from his own line, and he has an open run to the try line. I'd say 80 metres out, and it's Matty Ashton that scores the first try of the game. Stephen Ratchford adds the 2 for a 6-0 lead. That's with 4 minutes gone on the clock, and you think it's going to be a long night for Castleford as momentum starts to come into Warrington's game. There was a slight misjudgment in what the early set of plays where Warrington are deep in the Castleford half, where George Williams knocked on. But on the 14th minute, it doesn't take him too long to make up for that. After a few bumps, dodges, dips, dives, ducks, and a few passes by Widdop, all that to do with Widdop, close to the Castleford line, he puts on a short pass and George Williams goes over for the second try of the game. Ratchford adds 2 more, and that is 12 points to 0. Just before the Williams try, on the 19th minute, the Tigers thought they were on the scoreboard with their first try of the night, as Edwards steps and touches down on the stretch, but the referee judges that he moved twice and called a double movement. And then the waves of Warrington pressure kept coming on. Most of the time, Castleford being the own causes of their own demise. One of their kicks from Jake Truman sails out on the full, so Warrington got the pressure back on with the ball returned in the Castleford's 40, and but there was nothing of an end product really. There was an attempt from Gareth Widdop for a 1-pointer just before half time, but it hit the post and came back out. That would have been a 3-score lead for Warrington at half time, but wasn't to be. And we go into half time, and it's 12-0 to Warrington. At half time, neither coach should be happy with the 2 performances. Don't get me wrong, when Warrington attacked, they got 2 attempts and they scored 2 tries. But they had all the pressure, they had all the territory, they had all the possession, and didn't make it even further. A bigger scoreline. On the other hand, Castleford, if they stop doing the mistakes and stop giving away penalties, they'll get some possession and some decent territory as well. We'll have to see what happens in the second half. So we're back underway, and we had word that Jake Mamo has gone off for a HIA assessment due to an incident in the first half, and they were unsure whether he would be back or not. And also Kenny Edwards was strapped up on his left calf and was hobbling around badly. But it was Castleford who opened the scoring. Evalds and Truman got together to get the ball out wide to Darryl Alford, who scored the first try of the second half and his third in 2 games. At this point, we find out that the HIA is going well for Jake Malmo and he still has to go through his timing chart and he might be back during the game. But Kenny Edwards had to go off because that calf injury was too much to run off during the second half, and he won't be back for the rest of the game. We also find out that Alex Sutcliffe has to stay off for the rest of the game also, due to an impact on his throat, which forced him off for the rest of the match. After a mess around at the kickoff from Castleford, the ball finds its way deep in the Castleford half with Williams and Rashford setting up Josh Charnley for Warrington's first try of the half, which unfortunately Rashford missed, but was Josh Charnley's 250th try in Super League and his third of the season. Warrington found themselves back deep in the Castleford's half, and Williams plays a short ball off to Rob Mulhern, who just bulldozes his way through for his first try since 2019 and extends Warrington's lead to 20 points to 4, and Rashford adds the extras for 22 points to 4. After some stout defence from Castleford, gets them the ball back, fairly deep in their own half, returning a kick. The ball gets passed to Evels from Beretta Faraimo, who takes the first tackle. But at the play of the ball, things get worse for Castleford as the pass is very, very loose to Faraimo, and Matautia kicks on the mistake to score his first try for Warrington in the Primrose and Blue, which Rashford converted to extend the lead to 28 points to 4. Castleford get a glimmer of hope though, as Maimon takes the play of the ball and O'Brien kicks to the middle, where Longstaff fumbles it back. It's straight into Truman's hands for a try under the sticks. Gareth O'Brien adds the extras for a 28 points to 10 scoreline, which gave Castleford some hope as there is 14 minutes left remaining. But that hope was squashed quite rapidly as Warrington came roaring back. Off the play of the ball, George Williams kicked into the corner for Josh Charnley, who does a fantastic take to score his 251st try in Super League, and put the game out of Castleford's reach with only 8 minutes to go. Rashford adds the extras to make it 34 points to 10. And that's how the match ended, 34 points to 10, leaving Warrington with 2 wins from 2 and Castleford 2 defeats from 2. So a quick summary before I tell you who the man of the match was. Warrington got more and more confident as the game went on and started to look like an attacking force. They are still a bit clunky when it comes to go forward, and have got to polish all the rough bits out of their game before 3 games time when they play St Helens. Castleford look like they're dropping in confidence due to, in part, having lots of players out and also not putting in any performances. But saying that, you could say Widdop, Rashford, even George Williams started to step up to the plate, but the person that did the hard yards, getting forward more, and even helps himself to a try against his former club, Peter Matautia. He was their best player on the pitch. Not so much in the second half. It was the first half where he was solid all the way through, which gave a base for Warrington to start from. But he's my man of the match. He got the try, did well against his former side, and he was mouthy. He was giving Daryl Elforts all sorts of comments when he was anywhere near him or in the tackle, just having a chat. But anyway, man of the match, Peter Matasia. So that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and also share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that nice notification bell for any updates or videos that may be coming your way. Tell me what your thoughts are of the games tonight. Well, last night. Do you think Warrington are starting to show the form that's needed to win the league? Or do you feel like I do, that is still a little bit clunky? St. George-Illawarra fans, do you think it was a good time to announce that your coach is having a contract extension after a mediocre season, to say the least, last year? And also, the second year of his contract, the ball hasn't been kicked yet, and they're already making plans for 2023 with him? I don't think it's a good time. And our final story today. Tell me what your thoughts are. I know I was quite interested when I saw all the stories. The referee that's going after his own employers. It's a story that makes grim reading if the referees can't even look after themselves. I don't know. I don't know what we can do. We need to respect the ref, but they need help. Anyway, I will waffle on for the rest of the evening, I know that much, so let's say thank you very much for watching. Please remember to share the video worldwide. I'm sure that a few games will be called off, whether it's in the Championship or Super League this weekend, because of Storm Eustace being suspected a red weather warning over here, which is a rare one because they believe that this storm warning is a rating that can cause imminent death. Not the day after tomorrow, it's just Thursday Night Rugby League. So please stay safe, all the best, and I'll see you in the next video.